What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and I'm very excited to make this video. I just received my new iPhone 7 and 7 Plus from Kim Tuk in China. He says it's the real deal, so let's take a look at what $150 for the 7 or 7 Plus, really there's no price difference for the size, will get you basically in China. So I'm very curious. I've got the actual mock-ups over here, but these aren't working. Now I've got a working clone of the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, and as is tradition, I love these things. I've been reviewing these for as long as I can remember, way back in the day, even with the iPhone 5 and the SE, $50, and these are like 150 bucks for the 6S. So history has shown us that some can actually be pretty good, some are not worth the money. And keep in mind guys that this clone was built and designed before the iPhone 7 was even announced or released. So this is all based on leaks. Let's see how close it got. And this year it came out pretty late. Usually they're out in like May, April, but this year it was pretty late. So anyways, I'm excited to open this up. Officially 3 gigabytes of RAM, octa-core processor, Android 6.0, and a 13 megapixel dual camera. So very excited here. And of course the standard 7-inch model. All right, signed by Pablo Escobar. Okay. By the way, if anyone's keeping up with Narcos, oh my gosh, I didn't think the second season would be better than the first, but oh man, all right. And I'm excited for American Horror Story tonight. It's gonna be a great night tonight. All right, so here are my two packages. Man, Apple's really changing their style up for sure. Okay, so some bubble wrap here. I believe this is the iPhone 7. Oh, look at that. iPhone 7. That is cool. All right. Check that out. Sealed iPhone 7 box. Very, very similar to the iPhone 6. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this was just a repurposed iPhone 6 box. But 128 gigs. I don't remember paying for that much. iPhone 7 Gold. Wow. Okay, I gotta say, for a clone company, they certainly stepped up the game for the packaging. Definitely looking much better, very genuine here. All right, and the larger iPhone 7 Plus. Just says iPhone 7. Something's off about this font. It looks a little interesting, like the bottom part's thicker than the top. I'm sure Apple's packaging won't be like that, but oh, 16 gigabytes. Wow, Apple really screwed us over.
In these configurations. No, not these. These.
They said it would be bumping it up to 32, but look at that. Freaking liars. iPhone 6 Plus, wait a minute. Maybe this is a repurposed iPhone 6 box, but that's interesting. Okay, so here's our iPhone 7s. Actually looking good, so let's go ahead and actually get these open. Let's start with the standard iPhone 7 model. Open this guy up. Now, curious question to the people that are watching, are any of you guys actually going to use 256 gigs? Now, that's the one I'm going to order eventually for myself personally, but I don't know if I'm actually going to use it. I've used like 60 gigs out of my 128 right now, or 80, I'm not sure. But I'm not sure if I'll actually need 256. If anyone's getting one, let me know down below and what you're going to be loading on there. All right, and there we go. So I got the rose gold. They didn't have a jet black color. Actually, when these were made, they didn't know a jet black color was even going to happen. So that's probably going to happen a little bit later. But there it is, some eco-friendly packaging, recyclable. Wow, this thing is certainly much heavier than a standard iPhone 6S or even the other iPhone clones. It's a little bit thicker too, it seems. Yeah, definitely. Very chunky, wow. But look at that. There is your camera. This one actually has True Tone flash, unlike the other iPhone clones, so that's pretty cool. It does have the FCC labels, which is not cool. But look at that. On the bottom, you have your stereo speakers. And wow, to actually hold a clone, I love the design. This isn't even the real deal, but it still looks pretty good. It's an evolution, certainly. Camera bump isn't too bad. It looks very elegant. Let's peel this plastic off. And on the front, oh, that's just a screen protector. Okay, so wow, it's very, very chunky. The real one won't be like this, obviously, but I'm gonna go ahead and power this on. And I think the screen resolution is 1280 by 720, so much lower than the standard iPhone. Look at this. If I tilt it, that black border, that's like a millimeter gap in between the top layer of the glass and the LCD. That is a telltale sign of a counterfeit iPhone. But design-wise, I gotta say, I do like this. It's actually pretty dang nice. And there's a little piece of plastic on the camera. Peel that off. So antenna bands versus the last gen, look at that. Very smooth, clean look. And this is kind of funny because on the internet, I've already seen people saying the antenna bands on the last iPhone were better. I disagree with you guys, and I think it's funny because when the iPhone 6 came out, people were saying how ugly those were. So for me, that kind of tells me it's impossible to please people. No matter what Apple releases, someone will always be unhappy with something. Of course, you can say goodbye to the headphone jack. First off, kind of want to see what's going on inside of here. For me, I think the perfect iPhone clone will be the one that manages to ship Apple stickers with them first. I have not seen that yet, and will that change this time around? Nope, no stickers. Terrible clone already. And you thought you needed a Galaxy Note 7 to burn your house down? Well, these will do the job for you just fine. Okay, so I'm gonna put this away. Let's get to the real stuff. Wait a minute, did this thing seriously not come with headphones? Guys, come on, I paid $150. At least include the $2 freaking fake headphones. All right, setting this aside. So here is this phone. You'll notice that it does have an iOS 10 wallpaper on it, but the slide to unlock does remain. And I have been playing around with it for just a little bit. I think it's a very, very interesting clone. So if we jump into settings and I go to software version, it's on 9.3.1. Should be able to be jailbroken, right? I can't get my computer to recognize it though. So about 55 gigs here, and software update, network error has occurred. It has that back feature, the crumbs trail. I thought that was kind of interesting. But I cannot get the Wi-Fi to work. So I type in my password, it's connected to it, but nothing is in here. It's not registering whatsoever. I've tried 2 networks already, really nothing. And I'm kind of disappointed in that. I really, really wanted to try this out on the internet. So in settings, that's basically, it doesn't have the search function. It has a very weird animation in here, no bounce or anything like that. But on the home screen, so look at this. The control center is ripped straight from iOS 10. And it actually looks really good. The devs actually put an effort into this skin on the clone. So you've got your second page for media controls, and it looks just like iOS 10. So I got to give them props for that. And if I slide back over here, you've got all the color toggles on the control center, little icons in there, which is really cool. And night shift, it doesn't really do anything. It's just a Fox control. AirDrop doesn't do anything. Disappointed in that. No 3D touch toggles in here or anything. Flashlight does work. Cool. So taking a look at the camera. Yeah, look at that quality. Oh man, front-facing camera isn't actually too bad. Not too laggy. Oh, there is a zoom. Cool. But I can't find a way to actually change the camera controls or the resolution or anything, or the video resolution from in here. And in settings, if we jump into the camera settings, there's absolutely nothing in there for us to change. So I think it's just a set resolution of 1080p or something like that. I'm gonna try and get some camera footage over to you guys just so you can see what this looks like, if it's worth it. I mean, I'm sure this doesn't compare to the real deal whatsoever, but let me get some camera footage. All right, so let's try this camera out. Look at that resolution. Hey, little birdie. Try out the zoom. Look at those pixels. Spy camera. So let's get some color in here. I find it funny that the size of the video, the ratio is like 5:4 or something. There's no 16:9 standard or anything like that. But man, I'm gonna miss summer. Everything's in full bloom. Hey bees! Before I get bit, those are my bees. Alright, so we got some colors in here. Not too bad, not too bad for 150 bucks. It just looks really blurry on my phone. I can only imagine on the computer screen how it's gonna look. Alright, so disappointing camera, gotta tell you that for sure. But software-wise, I am very amazed. And This is the craziest part. This thing has 3D touch, not real 3D touch, but Fox 3D touch. So if you actually just hold an icon, it'll bring up the pane for it. You don't get all the options that you do on iOS 10. It's missing one here, but it actually takes you to that relevant page on the camera. You're gonna get these, record slow-mo. It's gonna take you to photo. Okay, so that wasn't very well optimized. 240 frames per second. Wow, okay, I gotta try this out actually. Give me a second. 240 frames per second. Here we go. And that was pretty awful. Gotta say, I think that's just regular video recording and no slowdown whatsoever. At least they made an attempt. An attempt was made. Anyways, moving on. There is another 3D touch icon there. So where relevant, you'll get 3D touch icons. On the other ones that you don't get them on, you can start the wiggle process. So kind of cool. App switcher takes an eternity to start up. Nice, but if you ever want to clear your app, you can wait like a minute in between, yeah, and then go ahead and do that. So pretty unoptimized there, but not too bad. The scrolling, the animations, they look pretty good. So you even get a little bit of that new folder icon animation from iOS 10, but a terrible transition in between. And yeah, so here is the real App Store, the Play Store. Unfortunately, my Wi-Fi is not working here, so I can't really test it. Battery life seems pretty good. I mean, look at that. You can fit a massive battery in there. In fact, I think I'm gonna open this thing up and see what's inside. Not too sure what else to check. Oh, you've got your widgets over here, which actually looks pretty good. You can show more. Oh, wow. Look at that. They actually put effort in on the software side. Dang, they really mimicked iOS 10. I just don't understand why you go through all this effort to make it look like iOS 10, but leave the version number at 9.3.1. What? That makes no sense. So upon further inspection of the ad, I actually realized that this thing is only running at 512 megabytes of RAM, and the processor is 1.3 gigahertz quad core. So I finally got the internet working. I downloaded Antutu, and wow, these guys are lying bastards. So look at this. Android version 4.2.2, it was advertised with Marshmallow 6.0, wrong CPU, really old one. The display is even, actually the display is pretty much the only thing that became true. Rear camera is not 13 megapixels, it's 8, and there's only 4 gigabytes of storage. As far as RAM goes, this thing is spoofed. It only has 512. It says it has 64 gigs of storage, but in fact, there's only 2 available out of 4. So those lying bastards. So let's go ahead and compare this to the iPhone. It actually says iPhone up here, just to see where we stand on the benchmarks. All right, so this is the Antutu results for the standard iPhone 6s, and this is the one for this iPhone 7. It's 9 times slower than the iPhone 6s. So 9 times difference in performance in GPU and CPU. You're definitely gonna feel it, but it's not 9 times cheaper, which is a disappointing part. Anyways, that's the iPhone 7. I just want to take it apart real quick and see what's inside, and then I'm gonna move on to the 7 Plus. Don't even need any tools to take this apart, just use my fingernails. All right, now this should come out. Okay, so that's what the inside of this clone looks like. The shell just completely disconnects. That is not how a usual iPhone is put together, but looking closer, looks like there are actually only one speaker on the bottom. The port looks really bad, like chipped off. Man, these internals look cheap. So you have your SIM card over here. So there actually is an SD card, I'm guessing, on the other side of this panel, this board. Camera looks terrible, very tiny little sensor in there, but it does have a dual LED flash, which I thought was very interesting. So the battery isn't as big as I thought. Look at this, it actually has metal in here, just metal blocks to make it feel heavier, heftier than it actually is. They could have actually gotten this thing thinner if they didn't do this. I don't understand why. Like, I guess it's the reasoning that if something feels heavy, then it's more expensive, it's worth more. And I guess that's what they're doing here. But pretty simple internals here. And actually, I just figured out that this is where the micro SD goes. So if you guys ever want to upgrade your own micro SD in this clone, you can just do that. So there's really no point in paying them to do that. You can upgrade right away. Kind of cool. So I think they charge like 50 bucks for storage, for extra storage. You can do that just by opening it up and putting it in here. All right, so next up, let's expose some more corruption and lies with this iPhone 7 Plus. Let's get this guy open. 16 gigabyte, a bit light though, you know, but compared to the 2 gigabytes on the iPhone 7 that I just got, what is this, iPhone 2G era? Those came out with 4, 8 gig, and 16 gig flavors. So let's get this guy open. I find it funny that there's no Plus branding on here either. It's just iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 big. And here it is. So also in, oh, I ordered rose gold. Guess they sent me a gold. But there it is. Hey, cool. Also has a working flash unit, 2 cameras, and very, very clean design. I mean, wow. Once you see this in person, it's not so bad. It looks like it's raised so much in the pictures and the videos, but really, really not that bad. So let me peel this off the back. Oh, this one's way more satisfying. Nice. So there's those stereo speakers, just like that. Cool. All right, let's get it powered on, see what this one comes with. But same type of display, big gap in between the top glass and the bottom. But the displays aren't too bad. They're actually really sharp. They look good and not bad at all. Very curious to see how the camera performs on this one. Is it any better with a dual setup, if there are even 2 cameras in there that are working? Okay, and same deal on this guy. We got slide to unlock, iOS 10 wallpaper. So I'm assuming this is running the very same software. iOS 10 clone, just the bigger version. Night shift does nothing, and 3D touch with a vibration on this one. The other one didn't have a vibration when activating it. Cool. I actually want to see if the Touch ID is real and working. On the other iPhone 6s clone, it actually worked, believe it or not. And here we go. It looks like it does absolutely nothing. So it doesn't even have the new iOS 10 style unlock screen. It doesn't do anything here. So this is completely fake software. Touch ID does nothing. But hey, at least they put an effort in the software over here. You're getting everything that you're getting in iOS 10 for the most part, look-wise. And I thought that was really funny. So let's try out that camera, see how it does. Should be really good, right? So supposedly this is 13 megapixels. I'm really not feeling it, so let's try it out. I think it's the exact same camera. Like, there's no impact on quality whatsoever. It looks terrible, looks blurry. Let's try some low light. Hello! Juicy details. Okay, so awful camera, guys. Would not recommend. I mean, there's a reason why the 7 and 7 Plus clones cost the exact same amount of money, because they're sharing the very same internals, just a bigger screen on this one. So it's pretty fluid. Like, if you didn't know these little details, this would pass as a real iPhone on iOS 10. So, you know, pretty damn good. I think these are very acceptable for iPhone clones. The 3D touch is what does it for me. 3D touch mimic. But overall, not bad. For the price, not bad. And last thing I want to test is sound quality. Really quiet, but not too bad in a quality department. And the home button actually has a virtual function to it. So if I don't press it, it does bring that down, which is kind of cool. So guys, there it is. That's the iPhone 7 Plus and 7. The last thing I want to do is take this thing apart and see if these dual cameras are indeed a sham. Dun 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 dun. All right, here we go. Oh, I got to pull the SIM card out again. So these things are ridiculously easy to take apart. Oh, this one actually comes with a SIM card. Oh, nice. It says 128 gigabytes inside, but in fact, it's 8 gigabytes over here. So at least this one comes with some storage. So taking a look at the camera situation, we've got dual cameras. One is a fake though. I could just pull this out it's just for the looks. So that's the only reason why that's in there. Okay, the battery is the real deal though. Completely takes up this entire portion. Very thick, chunky battery. So you'll get a good amount of battery life out of that if you're actually going to use this. Very cheap internals, I can tell you that. Ridiculously cheap. And at least they copied Apple on one correct thing. With the speakers, it's only one side that actually has a working speaker. So there it is. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Just a funny little video I wanted to make before the actual release. So I did manage to get some iPhone 7 Pluses. I got what I needed. I was just very disappointed that Apple really botched this year's release. Very hard to get. As far as these guys go, whether or not you should buy them, for $150, kind of makes for a fun little toy to play around with, to joke around with people. But you guys know the real reason these things are bought is to be resold as the real deal, supposedly, or for people that can't afford the real deal. I mean, it works. This is honestly one of the best iPhone clones I've ever used. It actually feels somewhat fast, even though it's ridiculously slow. I mean, it's got a quad-core processor. It'll run some basic games if you just want to get this for like a present for a little brother or a little sister or something like that. I mean, it works. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the real deal. Peace.